Here we go. Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the Ted Show. You know, I've had a crazy day, and we're gonna end it. We're gonna end it with the amazing Christina Kumar. We're gonna talk about taking massive action. I can't wait to hear all of those details. She's gonna share our journey all the way from the crazy, wonderful state of California. Welcome, Christina. How you doing today?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you for having me, Ted.
I'm very excited to have you. I read your bio. I love what you do. I love when anybody can impart that kind of wisdom. And of course, I love the message, take massive action, which we'll talk about soon. But before we do, before we went live, I said, you know what? They're going to want to know a 411 origin story on you, Christina. So tell us a little bit about your background and your journey.
Okay, well, I'll get started with how this book began. So several years ago, I won a Google for Entrepreneurs competition in Northern California. And it taught me so many lessons. I had to create a company all within 54 hours.
Wow.
So from then, I've learned that networking is like one of the most important things you can do. And so through that, through networking, I have co-authored 5 books.
What? 5 books? I'm not sure I've written 5 sentences in the last. What is that? And I want you to share that, but I'm fascinated by that process because I think a lot of people have these ideas they want to birth. They see the collaborativeness was what you're talking about, collaborating on books. How did you stump? Actually, we have a question already. How did you do that? What was your in there?
So again, like because I learned the power of networking, I started keeping whenever I would go to an event or anything, I would keep in contact with a lot of the people I would meet. And so some of the people were that I met were doing really amazing things like writing books. And so through them, I was able to write more and more books. Like my first book actually is co-authored with a fabulous author named Jim Britt, who connected me with the opportunity to co-author a book with Kevin Harrington of Shark Tank.
Nice, nice. How does it, where do you get the ideas for the books? Are these just ideas that you've had based on, you talk about networking, which I do want to talk about that. Is it from your networking and you go, okay, here's some things that I know we should do, here's some things we shouldn't? Is that sort of where the idea comes in? I mean, how do you birth all of that to give back to the world in books?
I just go with the flow. And so just the collaboration, I just put out there what's on my mind at that moment. I don't want to delve too deep into like, oh, should I write this because they'll like this better or whatever it is. What I think is helpful in the moment to me, I'll write in the book at that present time.
I love that. And so does each book have a similar theme to take massive action, or is there like a chapter that you do that's sort of related? How do you come up with the idea of what you're actually going to share in those books? 5 books you've collaborated on?
Yeah, I've co-authored 5, and so but I now
Amazing.
my new book is all written by me.
All you. So tell us about your new book. That's what I want to know.
Okay, well, so I collaborated again with this fabulous professor from Georgetown University, Eric Koester. And so he has a program that like allows people to be able to write, like it's usually people's first books, but some people have written their second book, third book. Um, and he takes us through a journey of writing a book all in 1 year, marketing, having it published, writing it. It was chaos.
Well,
But
was it so when you're writing it, when you collaborate, because we talk about collaboration on the show a lot. When you're collaborating, are you bouncing ideas off each other, or do you have the basic idea and then you kind of bounce it off someone else? How does that work? Because I think there are a lot of authors who have great ideas. They're wannabe authors at this point. They have great ideas. They just don't know how to get them to paper, and maybe having somebody to collaborate might be able to get their ideas birthed.
yeah, so with this program, there is like tons of collaboration. Like every week, we have like several editors that we work with. I'm going to be meeting some new editors coming soon, um, like people to help you design your cover design. You build your own author community. Like I've met so many people just writing this book, like Martin Cooper for the first time, who's the inventor of the cell phone. And now I know him, and it's so many amazing people.
What is it like when you are like after your fifth or sixth book? I mean, I know this is your first one on your own, right? But still, you are an experienced published author. Do you still get the heebie-jeebies or a little nervous when you meet somebody like Kevin Harrington or the inventor of the cell phone? I mean, I think I would be starstruck.
So because I've also done journalism since 2013. My first interview was with Russell Simmons. His brother is Run DMC. So back then I would get really so nervous that I could like barely breathe. I would have to remember to breathe. But now like I've done so many interviews, I get excited and I don't get too nervous. Like my latest interview was with Raisin for the second time, actually. He's the longest serving CEO in Silicon Valley. And
Wow.
now it's just like, like old friends, like,
Well, you have it. You have a natural gift of you disarm people, so you're calming, and I love that. And you can tell you've got a great. You're welcoming, which is so important when you're interviewing people. All right, everybody's asking about take massive action. So I'm a big believer in this. I think that little action has its place, but at some point you must take massive action. So give us a little history on why that title, and then let's have a conversation about how people can take massive action.
Yeah, so I think maybe because I was a female, I'm not sure, but I was more passive than I think I should have been. I feel ever since I won the Google for Entrepreneurs competition, where I actually finally just took the leap and like took such massive action and did so many things I was uncomfortable with, like public speaking. I have to go on stage all these like several times, not like all these times, but working with strangers, getting feedback from potential customers that I don't know. And it was just weird for me and just way out of my shell and comfort zone. I was more reserved back then, but after pushing myself, I just got used to pushing myself and putting myself in uncomfortable situations to progress faster in the things that I wanted to do. And I think that helped me. It helped me be more bold. So that's why
Bold's a great word.
Bold title. Maybe too bold, but it gets your.
No, I love it because I think that people do these little baby steps and then wonder why they're not making $1 million or why they haven't written a book. And so baby steps, I get it, are important. At least it's some sort of movement. But I truly actually believe that you have to, at some point, take massive action. You have to really take the leap over the canyon. You have to go ahead and get up in front of people if you hate public speaking. You have to write a first chapter, even if you feel like a kindergartner wrote it. You have to take that massive action in order to do whatever it is that you want to do. What was your purpose in writing the book? You obviously have lots of nuggets and words of wisdom. Are you trying to help other entrepreneurs? Who's your target on the book?
Well, entrepreneurs and business owners are one of my favorite people to write for. But students or anyone who feels like they need a little bit of a push and inspiration, which I think a lot of people need now. But like even with entrepreneurs, it gets hard and you need more inspiration sometimes.
You do. I think that entrepreneurs feel like if they share that they might be struggling, that everybody's going to judge them, and the wrong people will judge you. So you just got to get past that. But I think it's so important for entrepreneurs who are feeling this. They know they have a passion. They know that they have the drive. It's so important for them to have those accountability partners, to have someone you can bounce ideas off, because it is not easy, folks, to create a business, develop a business, promote a business, run a business on your own, and yet still stay true to what you were originally motivated to open the business for in the first place. dreams. And I think taking massive action and books like you're talking about are so important for us to read. It makes us feel like we're not alone.
Exactly.
I feel so. What is the long term for you? Are you going to go out on speaking tours? Is that what you're doing? Tell us a little bit about your business model, because I think people are interested. You've got ChristinaKumar.com, which I want you guys to go to. You can also follow her on social media. But what's your ultimate goal? Who are you trying to get out? Are you trying to do more business development or more consulting out in the world? Tell them sort of what your business model is.
Well, my business model right now is Christina Kumar PR. I do public relations for businesses and public figures. But I'm excited to hopefully go on a book tour next year for my book and do more.
As you should. That's exciting.
It is. I'm hoping, the pandemic doesn't make it too hard. But yeah, I would like to go even international and do some book tours hopefully next year. Fingers crossed.
Well, what kind of, which I think you should. You've got the personality and the look, and you obviously have the passion behind it. This isn't just I co-wrote a book or I had somebody. You actually believe in what you're doing, including taking massive action. So tell people, what's one thing that an entrepreneur who might be struggling should do in order to take the massive action? What's the step? What's a nugget that you can leave them with before we head out?
I think the number one thing is don't be scared to ask for help. I think a lot of people get scared. That's the most important thing. Like I've seen people when I was younger, growing up in business, I feel like if they would have reached out more, they would have gotten a lot farther.
Agreed. I agree. I think people, again, back to being an entrepreneur, you feel like if you ask for help, you're failing. And that is just the complete opposite. We have all asked for help. All of us who have been successful entrepreneurs, you have to ask. You don't know it all, and it's okay. Social media might make you think that you have to know it all, but you don't have to know it all. And so you want resources, you want a support system, you want people around you who will actually support your dream and be able to be there to be your sounding board, to bounce things off. And then, of course, if you get involved, you read books like Christina's book, you really take a look at things. That collaboration is actually so important and powerful when you're an entrepreneur. All right, what's the best way they can download your books, buy your books, find out more about what you're doing, Christina? Because I think a lot of people would love to pick your brain. And then, of course, anybody who is interested in PR for your business, you got to reach out to Christina. What's the best way?
They can contact me via my website. There's a contact page, as well as LinkedIn. They can just go to Christina Kumar, and I think that will take them to my LinkedIn. I forgot the whole link, but that and my book is on pre-orders right now, and it'll be available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble January.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. I love your energy. Come back anytime. Maybe when the book actually launches, we can share 4 or 5 nuggets with them from the book. Mm-hmm. Get out and reach out to Christina. Look at what she's got going on. Pre-order her book. Look at her other books. I think 2020 taught us that being an entrepreneur is definitely doable. You didn't believe it before. You had no choice but to believe it in 2020, most of us, because a lot of people were downsized and out. So you want to reach out to somebody like Christina who can help you and guide you. And then, of course, if you're in the market for PR, you definitely want to reach out to her. So thank you for being on the show, Christina. That was awesome.
Thank you for having me, Ted.
All right, guys. ChristinaKumar.com. And of course, we did this show on LinkedIn, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. So anywhere you want to look, just look for Christina Kumar. All right, guys. We'll see you soon. Bye.